Hello, welcome to the G.I. Joe New News Review. My name is David T. Allen, or Super Dave 817 if you would like. If you want to see more of this content, please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification button for future videos. Thank you and enjoy.
Hello, welcome to another episode of the G.I. Joe New News Review. I am David T. Allen, or if you'd like, you can call me Super Dave. We are talking about all things Super 7 today. We have a bunch of cool new Super 7 items and a few things that came in over the summer. So we're going to go over all those items today in this video, and then I have a couple other updates on some stuff. Thank you everybody in the chat for watching, and let's get into Super 7. So Super 7 started last year doing Reaction Plus, and they've done 5 or 6 waves. And then there was a new wave kind of leaked, named only for another wave, and we'll go into that at the end of this. But those first few waves were really good. They showed some really interesting stuff that we wanted. They gave us a bunch of things that we didn't know we wanted, but we definitely wanted. And then they've also been going into other areas like Micronauts and stuff like that as well, and Universal Monsters and stuff like that. So Super 7 has been really giving us a lot of really cool O-Ring Plus, Reaction Plus, whatever you want to call it, over the last year. And so I did a video a while ago recapping a bunch of stuff that we had gotten in the spring and winter. So now I'm going to talk about the stuff we've been getting in the summer and the fall. So the first item is of the summer wave, which was a movie animated feature film 1987 wave. And I think everybody loved this wave. It was a great wave. I'm going to start with Falcon. So I showed off Falcon a little bit last time. That was a promo, a promo or whatever you want to call it, a model of the Falcon from the Reaction Plus from Super 7 at Joe Fest. I showed that off in my previous video, but this is a sealed mint on card version of Falcon. Now, this definitely looks like the cartoon version of Falcon, is not the O-ring version of Falcon from the 80s. It is more brown. It has some darker greens in there, and it's he's got a rifle and a backpack in there. You can see the backpack there and the rifle, but it's definitely a homage to the feature film from 1987. So there you go, Falcon. And then from that same wave, we got Once a Man, Cobra Commander. Now, this is the very first officially released Once a Man, Cobra Commander as an O-ring style figure through Super 7 Reaction Plus. We've never got this officially released through a toy company before. We've got independent toy companies that have made it, but not officially released with the blessing of Hasbro. And so that's why we got this. 610 Yojo Daddy, thank you again for joining us in the chat. What's up, Super Dave? Y'all smash that like button and subscribe. Definitely, I have an update on that. By the way, 610 Yojo Daddy, thank you for all your help with that, because we have an update at the end of this. I will go into that update. So there's a spore. The Once a Man Cobra Commander comes with this spore right here, and it's really a darker, a more grittier version of him. The ones that I've seen that were more custom releases were definitely more generic versions, like based on like the figures from the 80s. This is definitely an animation inspired Cobra Commander, Once a Man Cobra Commander, for this wave. And then the next one is Jinx from the movie. Um, Very inspired by the movie. She's got a much brighter deco than the vintage version of her. She got the pugil sticks as well that break, and she fights with, and she has the bandana that usually goes over the head, but this did not come with the bandana. And she's got the head instead of the masked version there. So it is definitely a different figure, and it's very cool looking. I think it would have been cool to get the mask, a little elastic mask or something to go over. I think then that would have been perfect, but I guess that was too difficult for Super 7 at the time. So then we have a definite animated, inspired royal guard from Super 7. So he has his big sword, his little his sword that when he makes those weird la 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 noises and he chops people in half, and he's got a cape, a cloth goods cape, very cool looking, very nice. I think these movie inspired figures are really cool. They're doing a very good job with these. So that was the wave that was um, put out during Joe Fest 2025 in the summer, and it was showed off, and so then that came during the summer. So then San Diego Comic Con, we got a couple exclusives. I only have one of the San Diego Comic Con exclusives currently. One of them is actually on the way. It has not arrived yet. So I'm doing this video without that one. So one of them is the comic inspired bat with the explosive strapped to his chest that comes out of the swamp and tries to blow up the GI Joes at that point. And then it comes with this beautiful inspired number 53 cover for the 25th anniversary of Marvel. At that point they had that cover, and so it must have been in this issue where they show some of the comic scenes in the back of the explosive bat there that they sent to try and kill General Hollingsworth and a bunch of the generals in the pit that were touring the pit at the time. So that was a cool comic inspired bat, and we've gotten several bats already. So this is our third bat, and he's got all the cool accessories, and he's got a cool silver gun there, and he's got more of a comic inspired deco with that explosive on there. But it looks really cool, I must say. I was very happy about that. And because of the explosives, there's bullet holes and there are explosion details around the package where it shows fire and everything like that. They really did a good job. Super 7 does a really good job with packaging. I really think their packaging is second to none. Really, it's excellent. All right, so that's that first batch. So then there's always these weird exclusives that are Target only exclusives, and it takes a while to find them because they're only at Target, and whenever someone discovers it, that's when we find out about it. But usually Super 7 will never reveal what it is until it's discovered. So the first one, I should say the second one, because there was also a Python bat in the spring that was found and released. But the second one was the Python Cobra Commander Reaction Plus. And I really like these reactions because they give us new figures that were never done as Python or Tiger Force in the vintage line for the most part. Sometimes they definitely do reuse, but for the most part, like the bat, there was not a Python bat before. There was never a Python Cobra Commander either. But I really like this deco on Cobra Commander, the yellows and the green and the Python grid. I really like. And then he's got two different guns, two red decoed guns on that. And we have that Python beautiful card art that's on there as well. That looks really cool. So that was the summer exclusive for the movie wave exclusive figure. So we have that one. And then recently for the next wave, there was a Duke Tiger Force exclusive to Target Reaction Plus. Now we've gotten Duke before in Tiger Force through Reaction regular, and the same with Cobra Commander, and the same with the Bat. So all three of these Python figures have been released as reaction figures from Super 7 in the past, but not as O-Ring inspired Reaction Plus. So the Duke is very animated inspired. So you can see the card art, very animated, very cool looking. He comes with a green sword and a backpack. Looks like the same backpack as the Falcon to me, but I don't know. But I really, really enjoy it. It looks really, really cool. So I'm glad to put my Duke and my Cobra Commander, Python, and Tiger Forces together. It makes perfect synergy, right? So then we got a drop last month for a couple of new figures, and they snuck out, um, and then they were released through Super 7 this month. The first one was Pythona. So Pythona is very inspired by her animated stylings and deco. So she's very pink, and she has a a gem of that size solves all my problems for Zartan. And she has the ponytail and stuff like that. She has a cloth goods cape, and you can tell by the costume on the art that it's very pink. So it's very inspired by the Sunbow animated style. It's not like the classified version of her. And she is awesome. I love her. She's fantastic. I think they did a great job with her. So then that's her. And then because we got her, then we had to have the next one that was never released. Pythona and Big Lob were never released as O-ring figures in the 80s. Everybody's been wanting O-rings of these characters for years. Pythona never Pythona never got a release. She did get a 4-inch FSS and now a classified, but she never got an O-ring. Whereas Big Lob did get a kind of convention club O-ring that was really bad. It was too short. It was like a version 2 Mercer from the 90s that they repainted and redecoed and tried to do a Big Lob. It was terrible. And then of course Big Lob also got a FSS club figure as well, but this is his first O-ring legitimate figure. He's much taller. You can tell he's taller in that package. He looks just like his inspired animation in the animated movie from '87 as well. He has the gun, the snow job rifle from the animation as well. He looks really cool. He looks perfect, and he has a bandolier on there with grenades because that was one of his things. He did all the grenades. So I'm very, very happy. We finally got an O-ring Big Lob. And now we're going to be getting a classified Big Lob that we ordered the other day. So then, because previously in other waves, we've got Arctic versions of characters. We've gotten Arctic Cobra Commander, I believe. So now we have Arctic Snake Eyes. And so that's pretty much the same mold almost. Maybe a couple of parts like the leg harnesses there and maybe the grenades. So they changed it up a little bit, but it's very similar to that Cobra Commander Arctic version. And he has 2 guns. He's got that Arctic snow job gun, and he's got a rifle. I think it's the Cobra Commander rifle, actually. And I like the artwork. Looks really, really cool on there. So we needed to get another Arctic character in the line, and that was Destro. And so now we have Cobra Commander, Snake Eyes, and Destro in Arctic attire from all the different versions of G.I. Joe that were in Arctic gear. This Destro is awesome. He looks fantastic. That's obviously a new cloak and a new body for Destro. And he has that gun too, that same laser pistol there. But that artwork on there is really, really, really cool. Destro, I'm very happy to get a new Destro because Destro was my very first character that I got when I was a G.I. Joe collector as a child in 1983. First figure, and he's always going to be one of my favorite figures and one of my top Cobra figures of all time. So that was the wave that was released in October, and now we've gotten a name-only leak list of new characters. I kind of mentioned it the other day a little bit. Um, there's going to be Arctic Snake Eyes with the radiation. So it's going to be the bright blue version 1 Snake Eyes with the radiated hands, the glow in the dark hands and feet with the mass device element. So we got that last spring from Hasbro. So it makes sense that we would get that from Super 7 Reaction Plus. We already got a Reaction regular version of that. So this will be the third version of that kind of version of Snake Eyes that's coming out. So then we, on that list, there's an Arctic Scarlet with Arctic gear, probably similar to Snake Eyes and Cobra Commander. And then there's, who is the other one? There was another Arctic character, and I'm trying to. Oh, I think it's Arctic. I can't remember who the third one is. I remember the fourth one. It's another Arctic character. I'm trying to remember who it is off the top of my head. But then we got Mara. So she was in a 2-part episode. I think she was the girlfriend, I think, of Quick Kick, and she was like a female diver of some sort. And so this is the very first time that we're getting Mara as a figure. And that's a new character to Super 7. That's a new character to Super 7 Reaction Plus. Who was the other Arctic character? I don't know if it was Duke. Was it Duke and Scarlet and Snake Eyes? I thought it was a Cobra. I can't recall who the fourth one of that is. But it's another Arctic character. So we're getting another wave of figures that were name only leaked. If I think of it, I'll tell you. But also, I did a interview with Brian Flynn back at Joe Fest, and he said that we were going to be in the movie, in the Sunbow movie for a little while. So we've gotten 2 waves, solid waves, and then we've got a mixed wave coming up. But he had intimated that we might be getting Chuckles and the Cobra La citizens or denizens as a figure as well. So those are 2 figures we have not gotten yet. But talking with him, he also said that we're going to get 2 more O-Ring Reaction Plus figures for Micronauts. 2 new Micronauts that will be coming in December. So I'm looking forward to 2 more Micronauts to add to my Micronaut set over there with Baron Karza and Leoric. So that's going to be really cool to add them to that. And then all these Reaction Plus figures have been really, really cool. I'm very, very happy with most of them so far. I think the Falcon's a different color and stuff like that, but we'll see. We'll have to see if they give us a regular Falcon maybe down the line. Or we have the regular Falcon as O-Ring figure already. So one of the things that Brian has always said was that they're not going to redo things that that's already in the market. So some of these Tiger Force ones, I'm a little surprised that they're doing because they've already done them as reaction figures, but I guess they haven't been done as Reaction Plus. And so also he said that the Vipers that were going to be part of the mothership pre-order system or whatever, that 5-pack and the different drivers and stuff, that they will probably release the Viper as an O-Ring Plus Reaction Plus figure as well. So there's a bunch of interesting stuff that's possibly coming down the line. How they end up putting them all out, we'll just have to wait and see. But I've been very happy. They haven't been inundating us with this stuff. It's like every quarter there's a set of 4 figures or some oddball things here and there, like the twins or the Fatal Fluffies and Ramar and things like that. So I hope we get all that stuff, and I'm really hoping for some really cool stuff from the comics and stuff from other stuff from the animated series that we've never got. Like we got the Cold Slither Zartan, we got, like I said, Ramar, we got the Fatal Fluffies. We've gotten a lot of stuff that we've never gotten in O-Ring before. We got a variant of Wild Bill. There's been some really good stuff. And so now they're doing Mara. So I would like them to do people like Honda Lou, Satin in her band. Maybe do that as a set. San Diego Comic Con set, Satin in her band with Snake Eyes and Shipwreck and Timber. Do that as a set because they've done reaction sets before. So it makes sense that they would do another set, and that would get her in there, and then you'd get another Snake Eyes and a Shipwreck as well in that. People like the comic characters like Quinn. Um, Brian said that he wanted to do another Quinn, and he was a possible figure down the road. Um, Woody, thanks for joining us again. Hello, what's up, Super Dave? I only collect the Cobra Super 7 Reaction Plus. Only the Cobra? Why is that? Um, Hello, 77 Soothloose. Thanks for joining us. I think you're a new person in the chat. Would love to see Sat and Honda Lou. Yeah, very, very true. I would love to see both of those. I would love to see a lot of comic book stuff. As I was saying, Brian said he wanted to get Quinn back. He did a reaction version of him, but he didn't do a reaction plus. So I think we need to get more comic inspired because they did Snake Eyes comic inspired. They did Bats comic inspired. Two Bats, in fact, comic inspired. So the other San Diego Comic Con figure that I've got is more comic inspired as well. The one that's on the way. He's not arrived yet, but I'll wait to show him off in another video. But I would love to get more comic inspired stuff like Quinn, Soft Master, Hard Master, Blind Master, Billy, Bongo the Balloon Bear, the Clown, maybe Captain Min, maybe some of the Indians from the later years, maybe Dana. Maybe the guy from the Battle Force 2000. I can never remember his name. That has never been done as a figure before. Not as an O-ring figure, not as a classified modern 4-inch Sigma 6, nothing. That guy from Battle Force 2000 that was an extra guy. That would be a perfect figure to do from the comics as an O-ring plus, reaction plus figure because he's never had a figure before. So there's a lot of characters like that. And there's obviously like more animated stuff too, like Ramirez. Who else? Maybe that big guy that was on that island that kind of looks like Kingpin, the Toy Master or whatever. Maybe we could get some of the other stuff that was done as reaction, like Raven, and maybe we'll get the rest of the Cold Slither band. We only got one Zartan. Actually, we got like 4 versions of that Zartan. We did not get the rest of the band. We only got Zartan 4 different times. So I don't have all those Zartans. I only have the regular Zartan. Maybe if I see them at conventions, I'll get them with the LPs and things like that. But there's 3 other versions. I think there's a Big Bad Toy version. There's a Walmart version. I think there's a San Diego Comic Con exclusive Super 7 version as well. But they all have different decos. So I think that's really cool that they did that. But I think it would have been better if they had did that and made each one of those exclusives a different member of the band. And then you would have had to try to hunt all those things down to get all 4 members of the band. But I guess that would have been too difficult to try to do that. So there's a lot of legs with Super 7 Reaction Plus in the future. And I really, really look forward to what they're going to do for next year. And still, we got Christmas. Those Micronauts are going to be coming out at Christmas time from what Brian Flynn told me. So I'm trying to get another interview with Brian Flynn to talk about a lot of Super 7 stuff, to see where they're at and everything like that. So I'll let you guys know when I do that interview ahead of time, and I will be doing it on my channel here, like I do all my videos. So you guys can chime in and ask Brian Flynn questions if you have anything to ask him. Um, so I think that covers all my Super 7 information for now, until we get some more stuff. Um, and that Serpentor will be coming in soon. So I wanted to say we met our 150 subs mark. Today, we got our last 150 member for our subs. So now we can get that episode scheduled probably this weekend. It'll be this weekend. Give you guys a heads up so you guys can subscribe, get that notifications, hit the notification buzzer so you can be there, so you can vote on which Street Fighter figure that we're going to open for that video. We're going to have four figures that we're going to open, or four figures we're going to choose from. You guys are going to choose in the chat. And then I've already pulled out my top 10 Joe's favorite O-ring Joes from the 80s. And so they're ready to go. So, and then we're going to open up some cool classified items during that video as well. And then if there's something cool you guys would like me to pull out of my collection, I will ask you during the video, and then I will go and find it and get it out of my collection and showcase it and talk about it for you guys in that video. So thank you everybody that's helped us get to that 150 subs mark, and we are very close to the 200 episode mark. So we're going to probably do another episode, and that's where I'll do that tour for Lone Dragon. I think it was Lone Dragon, or somebody else wanted me to do a tour of this room and a little bit of my other parts of my collection. So I will do that tour in the 200th episode, and we will open up another Street Fighter figure, and we'll do another classified figure, and we'll do our top 10 Cobras. So that's not that far away. We only got about 18 episodes to go to get to that 200 episode mark. So we're going to have two fun episodes probably within a month of each other. And I really want to thank you guys. I couldn't have done this without you guys. You guys have really helped this channel out and helped me out. And it's been fun. It's fun talking about G.I. Joe, right? I wish I had more people close to me that I could hang out with and talk about this stuff. But everybody's got their lives. We're all adults, right? Most of us. But you guys are my crew, my posse, or whatever you want to call it, my platoon. And I get to talk to you guys about G.I. Joe, and I love it. I think it's great. And I hope you guys enjoy this as well. It's not serious. We're not doing anything important here. We're just having fun, taking it easy, talking about something that we love, and it's been very, very enjoyable for me to escape sometimes, to do these videos, to get away from my life and the things that are important and serious, right? Team Super Dave, hashtag Team Super Dave. Thank you very much. Suthalu 777 Suthalu and Woody. Something Super Dave. Same thing, Dave, Super Dave. None of your friends are into Joe, so you come to YouTube to talk to people and hang out with people that are like-minded about G.I. Joe. I 100% agree with that. When I was a kid, it was a lot. Hey, Lenny Honda, yo, Joe. When I was a kid, I had friends that I could go to down the block or in school or whatever, bring toys to school or bring to my friend's house. One of my friends had a flag, and I would bring a bunch of my stuff down to his house, and we would hang out and play on his flag and everything. And I would do a lot of forts and playing outside. I grew up in New Hampshire when I was a G.I. Joe collector. From, I guess, about 11, I started becoming a Joe collector. And I had a lot of fun with my twin brother and going outside and doing stuff. And we had creeks behind our house and woods and forests and mountains, and so it was really fun to make forts and do all kinds of adventures out there in the wilderness. So I wish I was a kid now. I would not be like just on my computer or on my gaming system or on my phone. I would be outside doing stuff because that was the fun of childhood when I was young. That you could get out and create your own imaginations. And GI Joe was my number one thing that gave me that imagination. Obviously, I liked Masters of the Universe, I like Transformers, I like Star Wars. Those are all very important to me as a child as well. Thundercats, Silverhawks, Mask, Cops, all those brands were important to me. Gem. Um, I think Micronauts and Rom were before my time, but I've become a fan of them as an adult. I have all the comics and I have a bunch of toys from both of those brands, but they were before my time. They were in the late 70s, early 80s. But I still love them. They're awesome. So, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video, this Super 7 deep dive. Um, and I look forward to a lot more Super 7 cool stuff coming down the line. Um, Lenny Honda, I don't know if you heard, but we met our 150 subs. We're going to be doing a special episode on Saturday, probably Saturday afternoon. We get to pick that Street Fighter figure. Do you guys want to get an idea of which four figures now? Do you want me to show the four figures you're going to choose from on Saturday? Or do you want to wait till Saturday and be surprised? You can let me know now in the chat if you would. Congrats. Thank you, Lenny Honda. I appreciate that. You've been one of the very first people that were coming into these chats and hanging out with me and talking with me and asking questions and commenting and contributing. So really, I really have a big thank you to you, Lenny Honda, for being one of those first people that came into the chat and started talking. And we've got a lot of regulars in our chats, and I really appreciate everybody. You guys are like family to me in the chat, and I really appreciate it. So nobody wants to see what those Street Fighter figures are. They're the Jada Street Fighter figures. We opened Ken on our 100 subs episode, and now we're going to open up another one. No problem. I am retired. Every day is Sunday. Whoa, cool, Lenny Honda. I'm glad to see that you have plenty of time to hang out and do this stuff. It must be nice. So I guess we'll wait. We'll surprise you guys on Saturday, and you can choose which one you want. So we got an eclectic set of 4 different characters. So all right. So I think that does us for our Super 7 overload. And this is Super 7. So we're just gonna say, yo, Super 7. We'll see you guys next time. Probably be tomorrow. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.